Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, welcome back to This Week in Base Hit. I'm your host, Zubaz, joined as always by my very good friend, the very good looking, intelligent, smart Citizen Clone. Clone,
Well,
how was your week?
you're saying this up front because you're gonna get ready to fight
Just
me.
blast you
Wearing
the
my
whole
wearing my
time.
Dodger hat, which somebody recently in one of our comments was talking about how stupid Dodger fans are, and I thought I would specifically get my
Oh,
Dodger
really?
hat
So
on.
finally, like we got to a non-Dodger fan in the comments?
Yep, yep,
That's
yep.
nice. Finally coming through. I'm
See a couple
wearing
out there.
a USA Brewers hat to combine both the Brewers and the start
Is
of the
that wait,
World
wait, wait,
Baseball
wait? Let me
Classic.
see that. That's cool.
That's the Memorial Day hat.
That's very cool.
Yep. Yep. I like it.
We did see, I mean, we were talking the other day. We saw the Giants perfectly playing. They're playing against America.
They did not do well.
No, they didn't. But it was funny to
They did not do well.
think about. Of course, they're against America. All right, all right. Yeah.
So
So, you getting excited?
yeah,
Excited for the season?
I'm
3 weeks.
I'm getting excited. The only problem is like you're watching every game, but like a bunch of us, I thought it was just the Brewers, but it's pretty much everybody that their team is their team's TV deal is with MLB is only getting like six
Is
preseason
it is
games.
it other teams that it's
Yeah.
happening to?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I'm
worries.
pretty bummed about that. So like I haven't been able to watch the games as much, but got to
Did you
see one
find out why that
yesterday and I
is?
was
Just to
really amped.
clarify for people who don't know, MLB now has the rights to like 15 teams.
Yeah.
They had like two, but and they want to make. I mean, they want to be probably like red zone or whatever, right? They want everybody
Yeah.
on their big plan, which we'll see what happens. But yeah, it sounds like so far,
It's been a
if you're
little
one
bit
of
of a
those, if you're
bummer,
one of those
but
teams, it's not great.
they got me excited though at the same time because like the TV crew was talking through all this extra technology they're going to have all year because of MLB.
Okay.
They're going to have a bunch of new overhead cams and they're going to be able to broadcast from different locations and I don't know. So I'm going to be optimistic that the season itself is going to be amazing. The only other thing I have to complain about is that we all of us on the MLB package got force switched to ESPN and their interface does not work for baseball.
Dude, I dude, I had to sign up through ESPN. I can still watch it on MLB. You can
You
still watch
can?
it. You can still watch it on MLB.
I can't.
After this, we're gonna have the grandpa trying to work with grandpa to help him figure out how to use the app.
Technology.
And I could be wrong,
It
but
it literally
it's
won't
working.
even let me log in.
I mean, that might be because you're a Brewers fan, but
But
no, I don't know.
maybe if I can fix that, it would be great because you know how MLB it gives you the little
Yeah,
time hacks for the innings and everything. It's so nice. It's
yeah.
designed for baseball, which
This is
obviously
all an
ESPN won't
ad
be.
brought to you by. We're not even get paid by him. Brought to you by MLB TV.
Yep.
I know. Yeah.
So so what else we were going to talk about what else is different this year. Obviously, I got ABS behind me. That's something we can talk about. But
Big
what
one.
else is different this year that
Let's
uh,
talk about that one first. Let's talk about that
okay.
one first. Because I've been watching. We've been watching exhibition games.
So are you starting to come
Um,
around to my line of thinking that
I
ABS is
we're
good?
gonna. I am. You have. You don't. You never listened to me. I'm not against ABS, man. Your argument was we should do ABS for every pitch, right?
Everything. If we can get to technology being instant, we should remove arbitrary ball strike calls from the game.
Um, Really, the argument is like when you start with that, you're doing okay. When it goes off the rails is when you're then like because umps are bad people who take over games, which I do not. Umps are they're amazingly accurate.
For
Uh,
the most part,
there are a couple of examples where they
but
went
not
off.
with balls and strikes. They're amazingly accurate with everything in the field, but if you look at balls and strikes, they're still only like around 90% accurate. So that means like they're wrong all the time. But that's not because they're bad, it's because it's an incredibly hard job. And
Yeah,
as shown here, almost impossible when the rules change for every batter.
yeah, and I'm very confused about that too because I had heard this recently. They measure you.
standing straight up.
When do they do that? Is
What
there a
so
day that everybody goes to the principal's office and the nurse's office and they get measured? What?
And that's the weirdest thing. I before this podcast, I went through this they have this sheet on MLB.com that shows the history of the strike zone and every time it's changed. And almost always, all the way through, the umpires are making an assessment based on the guy in his stance.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of a sudden, with ABS, they're measuring guys standing straight up. And so,
And
like,
if you crouch, yeah,
when you
yeah.
look at a guy like Jose Ramirez or somebody that gets like one of those really wide crouches, his strike zone's always going to be wrong, I think.
If you want to sell me, because that's the right way to sell me. If you want to sell me on, it's an incredibly hard job,
It's
and
impossibly hard job.
and uh, and because
Well,
of that, we can improve that. You can sell me on that. If you want to sell me that it's because umps suck, then
no, no, no.
then
See, you don't ever listen to me because I've never said that the umps suck.
you kept saying,
Well, what I
I don't like
say
when umps take over the game.
what I say is for some reason we have normalized in baseball that the umpires are this third participant in the game, whereas in every sport they should fade into the background and just make sure the rules are followed. If somehow in baseball, like it's so absurd, in fact, that the most absurd movie in all time, The Naked Gun, put its most absurd scene in the film to make fun of umpires being absurd. Like it's that absurd. Like at some point we've normalized umpires yelling at managers. When in the NFL have you seen them run up to a head coach and start swearing at him and bumping chests with him? That would never happen in any other sport. Secondly, they do a dance when a guy strikes out. When would you see an umpire rooting for one team where he's like, wah, wah, ah, yeah, yeah, like I had something to do with it? And it almost creates an incentive where you want guys to strike out so you can do your silly little dance and scream in the face of the batter about how
There you
stupid he is
go.
for striking out.
Just like I said before, when you start to get railed like this, when you start acting like umps are bad people, let me
Their
ask you this. Let me
behavior
ask you this.
behind the plate alone is absurd.
Let me ask you this. Why do you want baseball to be more like the other sports? Don't you
It's
like?
not that I want them to be more like the other sports. I just want the umpires not to be an active participant in the game. And when you look at where most of the arguments come from, it comes from balls and strikes calls, which is impossibly hard to do. There's only been two perfect games. There's been less perfect games by umpires than there has been by pitchers, right? And that's absurdly hard. And so when you think about it like that, it's like if we can remove a impossible task from the umpires and replace it with something that could be perfected, we should do that because we don't want games to be decided by how accurate the strike zone is in any given day by any given ump. It creates a really weird variable that shouldn't be part of baseball.
Uh, okay. So there's also like trends on like it would change. I'm not just going with the accuracy thing. Like there's certain pitches that they miss more than others, right? So I wonder how that'd be interesting to see. Yeah, as it well, if it got fully integrated, it's only going to be two challenges a game. If you get them right, you can have more. So it's not going to have major, but I wonder how it would change the way people pitch. But even but talking about the strike zone site, like the strike zone height,
Yeah.
aren't we also saying like ABS isn't accurate because because yeah,
Well,
it's
they're
very
saying
close.
it's going to be more accurate hitter by hitter because it's going to be able to accurately change for every hitter, as opposed to now where it essentially becomes one box.
But if you're a short guy that crouches lower than other guys, you're going to get certain calls more than others. And
Well, I
and
think that's why they
strike
measured
zone,
them standing up,
yeah,
is so that it doesn't do that.
okay.
I think that's the theory, so that you don't bring in like they did in the 1930s or wherever, where they brought in that dwarf to try to make the strike zone 2 inches tall or
And they
whatever
made
they
the
were
rule that
doing.
you're not allowed to play baseball unless you're at least this
This
high.
tall to this
Uh,
tall to ride.
I still want to know. This is the thing that I've been asking you all. I want to know the exact logistics of how some of these MLB things. I still want to know how they're doing this measurement because, like, watching the games, there's been like 70 different pitchers. So when did those 70 pitchers get measured? Is there a like X-ray booth that's sitting out there before each game? What? How did where?
Yeah, you want to know the logistics. I don't know the logistics
I'm
of
just
how they
very
did that.
curious about how every single every electrician that's coming in to get one at bat in
You would
preseason has been measured.
you would think that really tall pitchers with a high arm angle would have a unique advantage in that system, wouldn't you? Because they'd be able to throw down into the strike zone.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
I,
know.
I'm
I mean,
totally
yes,
doing a hot take right now, but it just like it dawned on me that there might be tall pitchers might be able to take
I mean,
advantage of
there
this.
are really tall pitchers, so yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we'll see. So watching it, I mean, the interesting part is how people are going to use it.
Yeah. What
Um,
have you thought about that so far?
I
Obviously,
mean,
they're testing it, so normally they're not going to do it in the first inning as much as we've seen. But like, what have you thought about it?
I mean,
It kind of adds to the game, right?
yeah. Well, that's what it wouldn't add to the game if everybody was doing it on every pitch.
Well, yeah, it would have to just be like a red light, green light, instantaneous
Yeah, it
thing.
wouldn't add to the game. Whereas now it's an interesting little strategic move.
Yep.
There's a little fun that happens where everybody like pauses and everybody looks at it and you get your judgment.
Yep.
Um, Catchers seem to obviously be the best person for this.
And
Uh,
catchers only when they're catching. Catchers that do it while they're hitting have not done well.
yeah. There's some pitchers that are self-aware enough that have said like, I'm never gonna challenge because I think everything's a strike anyway. And yeah. Uh, I the thing, yeah, you would think that you'd want to save them for high leverage situations. Like I think people are trying it out now, but like I'm just I'm excited for seeing a pitcher and catcher get pissed off at each other because like a team is going to say only the catcher can challenge, and then a pitcher's going to be pissed that the catcher didn't challenge for them, and
You
then
brought
Framber's
that up a
going to
couple times,
then
but
Framber's going to throw a ball right at him. What?
yeah, you brought that up a couple times. I don't know if that's going to
You don't think
happen.
that's going to happen?
I don't know. I don't
Like,
know.
come on, man, I can challenge that one. You don't
Yeah,
think?
maybe.
Or you're gonna be pissed because yeah, like later on in the game you want your challenge, but whatever hothead that was up batting like used their challenge bad in the second inning.
PCA is going to ruin this for the Cubs.
They did have the Oakland has supposedly been the best at this, but they had some ratings about who's really good and who's not at being able to judge when it should be. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Well,
interesting.
and like you were talking about, like um, there's also like there's this science of when the umps are more likely to be
Yeah.
wrong that's going into it. Like when you're lining up over the because they don't want to line up directly behind the catcher because they're taking too many foul balls off the face mask. So they line up a little bit to the left with a left-handed batter to their left. And so what?
Did I send you the picture? Because I didn't ever really think about that before. Did I send you the picture of the guy with the sombrero that they should do it
Yes,
every?
yeah, that looked
I
like he
had
was
a
wearing a sombrero.
sombrero in the crowd that was behind, and when it was right-handed batters, it was so perfectly set up that the guy had the sombrero, and it looked like the ump was wearing a big sombrero. And if it was left-handed batters,
He was way off.
it was way off. I was like,
Yeah,
oh shit!
yeah.
Like it showed how different it was. Anyway,
That's a pretty, yeah, I bet that was interesting to see how much they switched because it's like a full like 2.5 feet
yeah,
difference.
yeah. And I
And
had
so
seen
for
some
like an arm
analysis
side
about
or like a pitcher that has a bunch of glove side movement, I bet that looks really, I bet they get those calls wrong more than that.
there's some body type like analysis of like yeah, people that get people that are messing up, people aren't getting the ball on the low end, people that are getting it on the high end. Anyway, it's certain pitchers, certain stances. I don't know. It's interesting. It's gonna
I
be
mean,
interesting.
the one thing that seems clear to me though is that all teams are going to have pretty rigid rules and situational awareness for when to use these things. That's why I don't think you're going to see some arguments between pitchers and catchers because I think they're going to want to use both their challenges every game because there's no reason not to,
Yeah.
use them. But it's going to be probably saved for catchers and then really absurd moments for hitters. But I think you're almost going to see probably 80% of them be used by catchers.
Uh,
And then like I said, I think a couple podcasts ago, the hitters only get to use them if they were going to get in the ump space. Other than that, do not use it.
yeah, that's a good idea. So what else have you noticed this off season?
I have well, that's why I was asking you.
I
I
think I think, and you started this conversation last year one time when we were talking about the Mets. I think this year is going to be a stolen base revolution, uh,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think they're going to be records across the league in stolen bases. Not beating like Ricky Henderson, but overall the amount of people that are going to be stealing.
Because you
Uh,
think like how
'Cause
many
I think people are
stolen
using
bases the Mets got, all of a sudden it opened everybody's eyes to
I think people are using AI to get the
mm,
tells off of pitchers,
good
and their
call.
tells like how they're holding their foot or how they're doing whatever. And so now there was an article recently talking about, yeah, that all season pitch tipping is going to be an argument, but I think that's what it is. I think that there's always that battle between pitchers and batters and technology over the time. And I think right now on steals, the technology just went towards steals because they've just figured out a bunch about figuring out pitch tipping. They did make that rule, and I don't know how big a deal it is that they made the rule now about first base coach and third base coach can't
Can't
go out
leave
of
the
that
box.
box.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it because, yeah, they felt like
He was
they
trying
were
to get a
getting too
better
much information.
angle on him. Yep.
So I don't know how much that'll curb it, but yeah, I think because we saw, like you were saying, like there's slow ass people that
Soto.
were
Yeah.
yeah, that were and they had great rates, and I think yeah,
And
and
then
a
when you
bunch there
look
was a
at
bunch of guys.
when you see like the John Boy breakdown of it, he was getting absurd jumps. Like he was taking like full extra hops because he knew he was going to the plate.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I think. I think that they just like they have those charts for where to stand and everything else. I think they've got the chart for if he holds his hand here, he's gonna yeah. And it's I mean it's really hard to imagine not doing that. I don't know. It'd be
I
interesting.
think you're going to see that in all sports. Like you have to imagine, not to get off baseball for a second, but in the NFL, I remember back in the day, there was this running back for the Packers named Amon Green. And one of the things I noticed myself is whenever he was about to get the ball, he would put his right hand down, he'd wipe it on the side of his thing because he'd get ready to take the ball,
Yeah,
right? And if you get
yeah.
AI looking at the tells for 11 guys, you're going to at
Yeah,
least know if it's running past every time.
yeah.
It's going to be
Um,
interesting to see how teams like try to offset that. For pitchers, they already have so much on their mind.
yeah.
To just turn them into robots is going to be tough.
It's yeah. Although you could also have the guys that they could do some fake tipping if
Yeah,
you
like
get
I could see Max Scherzer doing that, like some
um
real gamesmanship.
the
Oh, do
I
you
did
think that will
see
happen? Kind of like with
it'd
Nestor
be cool.
Cortez, where they get they have a bunch of different deliveries that they use.
I mean, I don't know. I think that would be smart. I mean, you're
Yeah,
getting to being poker players at that point,
yeah,
and you'd want to make the team not trust their
their
scouting
scout.
information. I don't know. It's going to be a battle again between. I just think, and I don't think that they're going to have caught up yet on the steals. So I think it's going to
The
explode.
steals are going to be crazy.
And I got it from. I think that there's a bunch of these players, and they've talked about it. That I think at the end of the season, they all saw what Soto did and some other guys, and they're like, I could if that slow ass is getting these steals, I can get steals. So I think, yeah,
Yep,
I just think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna set records.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Um, Trying to think of what other trends I'm seeing. I mean, I still think pitchers are gonna not throw. I mean, I think
They're gonna not throw?
I mean they're not gonna throw enough innings. I mean,
Oh, 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 yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
keep going, you
I
know.
think I think the other trend because and I saw somebody do a video on this recently. The two highest contact teams were the Blue Jays and the Brewers. And obviously, both of them got deep in the playoffs. I think you're going to see a lot more teams going for contact where there's been this trend over the last 4 or 5 years where everybody's trying to amp up the slugging and the pitch selection and go for three outcome type stuff. I think you're going to see that change because so many teams are playing people out of position. They're not thinking about defense as much. And so I think the obvious counterbalance to that is putting more balls in play.
Yeah,
So that's my prediction is I think you're going to see more contact this year.
yeah. Interesting. I mean, we've talked about Arise and
And
how many
Bichette and we could name a
how
ton of
many
people.
times has Arise been the batting champion and he couldn't get a job
Yeah,
for most of the
yeah.
it's insane. It's
Oh, you were
insane.
talking about him as a hitter. Yeah, I was thinking like him playing second base again.
Oh, well, no,
So
I mean,
so
well, yeah,
he's like
they're
this,
playing out of position, but I was thinking about
but
just the
Arise is a
contact people and
super
how,
dangerous player, and he just gets no value. I mean, the Giants absolutely got a coup on him,
yeah, playing. I mean, going against him, and you're like, you get into those situations like, we need a strikeout, we need
and
a
you're not
strikeout,
going to
and you
get it.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
It always makes me feel the Brewers had that situation where they were up a run. There's two guys on it, and Arise was at bat, and you just know, like, gosh,
Yeah,
we're gonna lose this game because he's putting this ball in play.
this is not a trend, but I am going to continue to talk about it. I want because Dodgers did it one time last year, and I thought it was interesting of pulling the pitcher in the middle of the at bat.
Oh yeah, oh
And
yeah. You said we were gonna see that this year.
I didn't even know that it was a thing. And but I've just wondered. I don't know. I looked at the data. Actually, I don't really think it's to be a trend. I'd like to see it.
Might be.
But yeah, you get pitchers that are like towards the end of being out there. They're stuck in a long at bat with a guy that's fouling pitches off.
And you
Uh,
just switch on him. Well, yeah,
switch
because
switch the pitcher, and you've got a guy that's at two strikes, and he's not going to be able to time up the next pitcher, and you just know that the next pitch is going to be the one. I don't know.
the numbers actually get really absurd in favor of the batter the more pitches he's seen from the pitcher.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the batting average goes up like I would
yeah,
just
yeah.
pull out a number, but I remember seeing uh there was this Blake Perkins at bat this past year where he was into like the 14th pitch and they showed a chart. They popped a chart up and literally they were getting like 30, 40 points
Really.
of batting average once you got past 10 pitches.
Yeah, I believe it. And yeah, I mean, we they already know you already know that seeing the pitcher again the second time or whatever is pain. So yeah, I think I mean it's just the question of well, the two parts are one, I don't know the data on if a pitcher just comes in cold and you need him to throw one strike.
Yeah, you'd have to pre-plan it, right? Because you'd have to have him at least slightly warmed up.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He'd be warmed up. I mean, yeah, I'm not a caveman or anything. I'm just saying like if you've got a new pitcher coming into a game against a batter on one pitch, who's got the advantage?
The pitcher.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, the pitcher.
The more pitches you
Because
throw,
he can throw his best pitch,
yeah.
whatever it is.
And then the other part is you
And
need
he's coming in a count. So he doesn't have to throw a fastball. He doesn't even need to throw a strike necessarily. He just has to throw his best pitch.
the biggest barrier to it is ego or whatever. Yeah, you need pitchers that aren't going to be pissed that they got pulled because it feels like yeah he gave up on me halfway in the at bat. Uh, you need a team that was willing to think of it as strategic. I don't know. I just think about that one that it's
Yeah.
not used. It's not used as much as it could be.
Yep.
Um,
There it is.
I don't have I did have other trends that I saw and I've forgotten every single one of them now. I'm just saying this year is going to be although it might have been in the last few years, this is going to be like stolen base record
I
by
think
a lot.
well, and let's combine our two things. Let's just say it's like the full-on return of small ball between contact and speed. I think Like I think that's a pretty good, fun prediction for the year. It's a
Yeah,
lot more small ball this year.
we got to look up some stats that we're gonna measure this on.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Let's leave it there. I want to just close with one thing because we were talking about throwing your best pitch. Start of the World Baseball Classic. If you want to see the filthiest pitch in World Baseball Classic history, go back and look at that last pitch Shohei threw to Trout in the last World Baseball Classic. He throws a sweeper glove side, and it has an insane amount of movement. It is one of the best, most clutch pitches you'll ever see. Till next week, we're out of here.